every afternoon, every day. We are always going to be here and learn something. Seeing the class, I'm having David, Michelle, Eddie, Irina, Emmanuel, and Jesse. You are very welcome. You are all very, very welcome. Okay. How was yesterday? Hope you made some money. Hope you trade some money. Hope you made some money yesterday. If you did, that is very fantastic. I'm going to advise you, my dear brothers and sisters, when you are doing your business, make sure you are trading or you are sharing your business to people. Okay? At the end of the day, make sure there are dollars coming into your pockets. Hey. Because if you realize every day we are spending money, so you must make sure that every day you are earning money. How will you spend when you are not earning? This is a great opportunity. Break is a very great opportunity, which was brought to us by someone who showed you this business. He showed you this business to make money. So make sure you make the money. Make sure you learn the skills of making money, either trading, either team building. You have two options. So master both or one and make sure you are making money. Yesterday, the market has been so good. There is this coin called World Coin. It has been giving money, people. Hope you people, you've been enjoying. I am seeing someone whose microphone is not on. Let me send him a message. Ronald, tap Wi-Fi audio so that you can hear us. Hey, some people, I think they don't know how to use Zoom. So when they join in, they fail to connect their microphones. I've sent him a message and then he quit. Sure. Okay, now he's on. Okay. So friends, there's this coin which has been giving people money. Yesterday, even today, it has made almost 10%. So make sure when you are trading, make sure you have margin calls. I have got very many messages whereby people are asking a question, what is margin calls? The training we had yesterday, but one, we elaborated margin calls, but not necessarily about it. People didn't understand it very well. So they need to learn and understand what is margin calls. Okay? They want to know what is margin calls for sure. People, you know, when we are in a group, someone posts, my coin is not selling, my coin is not selling, my coin. You are always seeing this solution. Hey, give it margin calls, give it margin calls. But people are not understanding what is margin calls. They're like, what is margin calls? Okay, you give it like 5 margin calls, do this, put this, put this, put this. But for sure, they are not getting it. They're like, what is this for sure? Today, I'm going to make sure that this is understandable because margin calls is business. When you don't have margin calls, you are not in business. Okay? When you don't have margin calls, you are not in business. You are gambling in business. So you must make sure in your trades they are having margin calls. Make sure in your trades they are having margin calls. Okay. So we are going to look into that and we understand what is margin calls. Let me share my screen. If I share my screen, let me get this pointer. Sometimes it disturbs me if I don't get it if I share my screen. Get to the pointer. Okay, it's here. Good. The pointer is ready. So, okay. Sarah is saying, hi, everyone. You're very welcome. You're very welcome to the Zoom. I'm going to share my screen. Today, I want everyone to understand what margin calls means. You know, when you are setting margin calls and you are understanding them, it will really help you so much to make money. You get the point? Margin calls means business. Okay? When you don't have margin calls, you are out of business. The more margin calls, the better. Of course, many margin calls means capital. But the question is, what is margin call? Let's first go to our robot. Let me choose any coin. Let me choose world coin. World coin is making it. You people. Hey, hey. Kakoini kafuse kakoini kano. I want you to look at this coin. This coin is new, by the way. I think it's 2 months now. This coin was introduced on Binance when it was at 0.1. It went up to it went up to, let me see here. Okay, this coin went up to $5. Then from $5, are you seeing the screen? Then from $5, it went down up to, let me see. This was the lower. This was the lowest. This was the lowest point. It went up to 1. Sure. The lowest point was this. It went up to $0.9. So now I want you to look at this trend. I think let me use the trading view. If I use Royal Q, do you know why I want to use Royal Q? Because everyone has it. Since everyone has Royal Q, it is easy. Now I've updated this cutting. It's going to disturb me. So let's look at World Coin. World Coin USDT on Binance. World Coin, let's look at 1 day. World Coin was introduced on Binance on this day. That was 24th July. Those are how many months? I think 2 months back. So on that day, the coin went up to $5. Then it went down. It started growing down. It started going down. Are you seeing my screen? Hope you're seeing my screen, okay? So it started going down and up a little bit, down and up a little bit, up and down a little bit, until it hit here. Let me make these candles very clear. Are you looking at the trend? So this coin got what we call a downtrend, okay? It went up, then it came down. When you look at this point here, the coin was going down. Then at this point, it went up a little bit. Then it kept going down. But after down here, then it went up a little bit. Then it went down. Then it started growing up. Then it went down again, and then it went up currently. Are you getting what I'm talking about? So if you have margin calls, this is what happens. Your robot, let me use my pen. Your robot will be buying, for example, it bought here when the coin was at $2, then the market started dropping. The robot will keep buying margin calls. Now, when it buys margin calls, let's assume it reached this point. When it reaches this point and the market goes up, it sells. Then the market goes down, it buys. When the market goes up, it sells. The market goes down. When the market goes up, it sells. When the market goes down, when the market goes up, it sells. The market goes down, the market goes up, it sells. The market goes down, the market goes up, it sells margin calls. So that means that hey, you're having this coin, but it is in floating loss because you bought it at $2, for example, at this level. Let me get, now they want me to restart it. These guys are disturbing my class. So today's class, I want everyone, by the time we end our Zoom, when you can understand what margin call means very, very well. So WorldCoin, why did they bring Alpine? So WorldCoin USDT. So we are looking at how these coins are moving, okay? Let's assume if we have a horizontal line, let's assume I had bought this coin at this level. Is my purple color visible? Let me make it blue. Are you seeing my blue color here? Are you seeing that line? Let me get a pointer. Are you seeing this blue line? Let's assume I had bought that coin at that level. Then the coin started going down, as I've been showing you. Started going down. So what does that mean? The robot starts buying margin calls. Now, when it goes up, are you seeing these greens? Then the robot will be selling. So that means I'm still in floating loss of this coin because the average price was at $2, but currently the coin is at 1.5. So when it's at 1.5, that means that this coin is still in floating loss on my robot, but it is paying me money. You get my point? My coin is on floating loss, but it is paying me money. Let's go live on trades. Let me one of my trades is ING. I am trading this coin. Friends, is my voice visible? Sometimes when people call me, my phone mutes itself. Okay, back to class. This coin of mine, I allocated it 150 margin calls. 150 margin calls. Are you seeing it? And the robot currently has bought 10 margin calls. You know, the number of margin calls the robot buys, it tells you it has bought 10 margin calls. But I want you to look at the transaction records. When you want to check the transaction records of your trade, you tap in the corner there. There is that icon in the corner, the last corner on the right side, the upper corner. When you tap that icon, the robot will show you, the robot will show you how it has been buying and selling this coin. Okay? So do you see this word subsell? Let me tell you, friends, we are having a very beautiful machine. Do you see this word subsell? Subsell means it is selling margin calls. It is selling down in the market. The more the market is going down, the more this robot is buying it. The more the coin goes down, the more the robot is buying it. So when we tap any of these sub-cells, for example, the first one up, the robot has said that I sold a sub-cell. This is a marker, meaning that I've sold down the coin, but I've sold the 11th margin call. That's why it is having 10 margin calls, because it has not bought a new one. We are going to understand these things. We're going to understand these things. Okay? The robot has bought 11 margin. Now, um, so I want you to look here. Let's go back to our Zoom. Now, you see that this robot has been buying and selling. There are very many buys. Buy, 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 sell, sell, sell. But you see the take profit it is selling these coins, the subs. I told the robot sell these subs at 1.3% at least. But it sell them at 1.2, 1.1, 1% and they are very many. Okay? Now, my margin calls, the robot is buying and selling. You see these very many buys, sells, eh? The sub sells. That's why there were very many sub buys. So I'm going to explain this to be understandable. I'm first showing you how the robot does it, how it explains this stuff. Now I want you to imagine if you had very many, if you had good capital. So for me, on my trades, the robot uses $10. Okay, uses at most $10, $10, $10, $10. You get the point? $10, $10, $10, $10, $10. But I want you to imagine if you had good capital, if you had allocated good capital for this trade, for example, and it was buying with $30. Because if the robot buys a coin at $30 and it sells at 1.5%, it will be bringing 0.45 dollars per sub sale. So if it does just 10 of them, that means in 10 sales, it will be giving you $4.5. But with very many sub sales, you may find out that if the market is good, even these sales can reach 20. So that means you are making $9 a day. $9 a day, that's good money. If you make it in 30 days, that is $270. That's 1,000,000 shillings. That's how these trades are done. You get the point? So the robot is buying and selling in subs, buying and selling in subs, buying and selling in subs, buying and selling in subs. It buys, 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 sells, sells, sells. But I want you to look at the price. The robot, the last coin it sold it at 7.157. That was the price it sold the coin. But let's go back to our trade. You realize that this trade is in negative. Then the coin is in negative. Why? The average price is at 7.6. My coin is in negative. You can see it. It's in floating loss, but it is giving back money. Why is it giving back money? Because it has margin calls. And all your margin calls activities I showed here in what we call the sub-bin. When you tap on sub-bin, the robot will show you that I bought this margin call at this price, I bought this, I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. According to the amount of margin calls it has. Okay? So let's go back to our trading view. I want you to understand what these margin calls mean. You get the point? Let me choose another coin. This coin is so new. For example, ING stock USDT on Binance. Okay. Now look at this coin. When you look at this coin, the way it operates, okay. Do you remember the Gartley predictor Leader Harriet told you last night? The Gartley predictor shows that this coin will go to $12, but right now it's at 7. That's why on my robot, I put it in cycle. You see? So for me, when the Gartley predictor at a higher time frame shows me that this coin will go up at this certain price, I put it in cycle. I'm pretty sure that however this coin retraces, it is going at a very good price. They are up. That's why I put it in cycle. I give it freedom to enjoy. Buy, sell, sell, sell. Buy, sell, sell, sell. Buy, sell, sell, sell. You get the point? Now, what margin call means? You see this robot? These are 1-day candles. Every candle there represents a day. So you may find it out from here to here, those are like 3 months. But in a period of 3 months, this coin was at this level. Then it went down to this level. So that going down means buying margin calls. For example, my robot bought it at 7.6, not so. Let me get a line. 7.6. My robot bought it on that line. Are you seeing? It bought it on that line. No, this is 7.6. Let me see. 7.640. Almost there. Then it has been going down, 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 down. It was buying margin calls, buying margin calls. Now it went up, 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 up. It didn't hit the take profit. Since it is in cycle, it hit the take profit, then it bought it again. Now it is going down. That's why it is having less margin calls, only 10, but it had bought very many of them. So this coin will be in a swing. The more it goes down, it buys. The more it comes up, it sells. Now let's get a paper. Let's get a book. I explain margin calls so that they are understandable. Now look, when we buy our INJ, this is the coin. INJ stock USDT. We bought it at this level. Then this coin starts going down. The robot will be buying margin calls on these levels according to the parameters I gave it. And then I told my robot that sell whole warehouse. No. I told it to sell sub-bin real-time settlement. I told my robot, you sell this coin. Whenever the subs go up, what do I mean? Our first buying amount was here. The robot bought here. After buying there, then the market started going down. It went down here, 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 here. You get the point? So the robot was buying again. Bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here. Bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here. Now, those are margin calls. Then I told the robot that if every margin call goes up, you sell it. Now, if it's bought at that purple level, if it goes up just 1.3%, I told it you sell. Then it started selling here, 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 here. What is it selling? It's what it sold here is what it bought here. So when we calculate, this is 1.3%. So that's why margin calls are very important, because your robot is buying and selling in real time multiple times. Now your money is what limits you in the market. Because if you look at this trade, it shows me that, hey, I've been buying and selling at what you told me. It was selling at 1.2, 1.2, 1.2, 1.2, 1.14, 1.14. Sometimes it sells more than 1.5, 1.26, 1.4. Are you seeing those percentages in the bracket here? 1.6, 1.2, 1.3, 1.21. It has been selling the margin calls very, very well. 1.4, 1.1, 1.1, 1.1%, 1.1. Okay, the reason why the percentages are not the same, it's because of the callback. The robot has a callback by default. Even if you put it in 0, the robot will still have a callback. We will explain the callback next time, not today. So 1%, 1%. I think that the robot has been buying and selling. It even one day it sold it at 1.9, a sub sale. You get the point? It has been buying and selling this coin, but of course giving profits depending on the capital it had put in that trade. Okay? Depending on the capital it had put in that trade. So if you're having good money, you'll be enjoying margin calls. I want you to imagine if you have $10,000 and each margin call is selling with $50. 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. 10,000 divided by 50. 10,000 divided by 50, we get 200. So those are the margin calls. So you are giving your robot 200 margin calls. Oh my goodness, 200 margin calls. And on each margin call, if it sells at 1.3%, you are making $0.6. You know, some people, when they look at that $0.6, they think it is little money. Who told you, my dear? It is little when it is one, but if it's multiple, just like you are seeing these sub-cells, it makes good money. It makes good money. So now, we are back to our robot. Now, I want you to look here. Okay? I want you to look here. When we are setting margin calls, let's look at this trade I and J. If we are setting this coin, then we tap trade settings. We had told it buy 150 margin calls. Are you seeing here? For me, my margin calls are 150. By the way, you can have as many as 999 margin calls. That is the limit of the robot. If the robot has 1,000, almost 1,000 margin calls, now for you are there, you are having 3 margin calls. Man, what are you trading? So you tap margin configuration. When you tap margin configuration, the robot, you give it parameters according to what you want the robot to buy. Okay? What do you want your robot to buy? I told my robot that buy 0.5% 20 times in 20 margin calls. 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So when we go down up to 20th margin calls. So if we put 0.5 times 20 margin calls, 0.5 times 20, that means that is 10%. If the market drops 10%, it would have bought 20 margin calls. But remember, the market doesn't drop as a line. It drops, then it goes up. That means as it is dropping, it is selling somewhere. As I showed you here, you get it? When it drops, it sells. 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 So as in the market is dropping, it is giving you money. So you are enjoying the market opportunity. The market drops, you make some money. Market drops, you make some money. Market drops, you make some money. Okay? Now, let me help you understand how to design margin calls. Let me go on a fresh page of margin calls, not my trade. Let's assume we tap LTC. Then we tap create, martingale bot, we tap next, then we tap trade settings. Now, these are no settings. Then we tap new create. For example, if we are going to design margin calls, okay, today our topic is margin calls. Here, Eh? Our robot is our market is our topic today is focusing here and here. Okay, and then here. Now, so if we say that we are going to have a number of margin calls, how do we know that? Uh, do you hear me, friends? Do you hear me? Huh? It seems someone is saying something. Is my screen off again? No sound? Oh, come on. Okay, do you hear me now? Friends, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now mute yourself, friends. Mute yourself. Okay, let me help some people. They might not know how to mute themselves. Okay, so we are looking at how do we design margin calls? How do we design them? Let's assume you have $1,000 as your trading capital. $1,000. If you have $1,000, some people, the problem we have as we are trading, the problem we have, we want to fight our capital. You want to see all your 1,000 in a trade. Have you seen what we call margin floating loss? If you fight your capital, you will be enjoying floating loss all of the time. Don't fight your capital. Have a strategy. In trades, strategy work, not emotions. So if you have $1,000, okay, let's assume you want your first buying amount to be $20. So you divide 20. The 20 is the first buying amount. That means now we are going to have 50 margin calls. Are you getting the point? And this is one trade. One trade. You find someone with only $500 as their capital, but they're having a lot of trades. Someone is having 4 trades. How will 4 trades use $500? By the way, my advice, friends, don't trade a lot of coins. A lot of coins don't make money. They actually make your capital stuck. Trade little coins, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on your capital. If you have $2,000, you can trade 2 coins or 3. If you have $3,000, you can trade 3 coins. If you have $5,000, you can trade 5 coins. Someone is just $200, but they're having a lineup of coins. I'm pretty sure, Ndaida, you've been floating loss all the time. Let's assume you have $1,000. Divide your capital by your first buying amount. The number you get is the number of margin calls. So you come here, you put 50. Now your margin calls are 50. Okay? Always, we learned this. We learned the take profit callback. We are not going there. Now let's go and design the margin calls. Okay? How do we allocate the drops of these margin calls? How do we allocate them? We come back to our calculator. Remember, our margin calls are 50. But remember what I told you, friends. Make sure Make sure your whole strategy covers 50% or 35% at least. At least. At least. Let's assume you have 50 margin calls, but you want to cover 40%. So what you do, you get 40, divide by your 50 margin calls. This 40 is the percentage that in case the market drops 40%, I'm still safe. I'm still buying margin calls. Are you getting the point? Let's assume for you, like, for me, I'm going to do 40%. I'm going to cover 40%. If my coin I'm trading drops 40%, I'm still buying it. So you put 40 divided by the number of margin calls. So you get 0.8. Now 0.8 will be the drop. Put 0.8 throughout all your margin calls. 0.8. 0.8. Throughout, I won't do that because of time. So sit down and design the settings. Do 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, up to the 50th margin calls. Now, how do we get the times? What is times meaning? The robot is asking, if the market drops 0.8, how much money do you want me to put in? But remember, this money must be in ratios, not in dollars. I want you to look here. The robot is saying multiple buy-in ratio. It wants a ratio. So a ratio means, what do you want me to buy? So it has put the word times the first buy-in amount. This times means the first buy-in amount. Put 1. Because our first buy-in amount was already $20. So you put 1 times, 1 times, 1 times, up to the 50th marginal calls. What does this mean? Whenever the market drops 0.8, the robot will be injecting in $20. Whenever the market drops in 0.8, the robot will be injecting in $20. Whenever the market drops 0.8, the robot will be injecting $20. Because this is 1 times the first buying amount, which is $20, that is 20. So the robot will be busy buying. Are you getting the point? Then you confirm. Okay, of course, we saw that the take profit callback must be 0.01, the buying callback must be 0.1, then the take profit callback again. However, it is for the subs, it must be 0.01. Now let's go to the distributed and take profit allocation. What does this mean? The distributed and take profit allocation means starting from the 50th margin call, the robot is designed to sell margin calls independently, starting from the 50th one. The first, second, third, and fourth, they are not sold independently. They are sold at once as a whole. But starting from the 50th, for them, they are sold independently. By default, it is 1.3%. But you can change it and put whatever you want. And if you tell the robot to sell it at 100%, it will. But don't do that mistake. Leave the default settings, 1.3%. Even 1% is better. Because we want our robot to be busy. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Even if it brings little dollars, but multiple times, it makes huge money. Are you getting the point? Multiple times, it brings huge money. I want you to imagine, we had calculated that if, for example, if it has been buying and selling with $50, it will be bringing $0.6. Now, I want you to imagine, if it sells just 10 times, that means that those are $6. 20 times, $12. 100 times, that's $60. Did you know that if the market is pumping, you can sell 100 times subs and you make you $60 without hassle? The robot is busy. So leave them by default. Don't even tamper them. Then cycle, make it one shot, and then you confirm. The other thing you should never forget is the strategy mode to make it sub-bin real-time settlement. If you leave it at whole warehouse, you have done nothing. It's like you have washed a white cloth and then you put it in a soil to dry. You put it on the floor. Put sub-bin real time, because sub-bin real time means if it buys, it must sell independently, the margin calls. Another thing, never forget to switch off the AI margin call button. I hate that button. I don't know why they brought it. That button, when you leave it there, the robot will be buying and selling according to its default settings. And I told you default settings need 14 millions. For you are trading with 1M. So the moment you leave that AI margin call, it will consume your money for nothing. So always switch it off. If it is on, the robot won't follow your strategy. It will follow its strategy. But if you switch it off, it will follow your own strategy you had developed. Have we learned something, friends? We're going to end there. Today is a Friday. I must go for prayers. But I think we have learned something. In just a few minutes, I'm going to accept questions. Any questions? Any questions? Do we have people who have questions? Yes, Ariel, what you have to do, go in the chat, type in your question. Go in the chat, type in your question. Go in the chat, type in your question so that, okay, Tobias is saying, thank you so much. You're welcome, my brother. Julius, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. Robert, thank you, my brother. Robert, you're very welcome, Robert. Thank you for being in class. You mentioned a last lesson that happened last night. How many lessons happen a day? Okay, we have started an afternoon lesson. This lesson this week. I think we started it. Was it on Tuesday? Today is Thursday. We have done it 3 times now. So we have started. This lesson is new. It has started just this week on Tuesday, and it's going to be consistent. This lesson is because some people cannot afford to attend the early morning and the late night. So those who can't afford, this afternoon is favorable for them. However, we have morning classes at 10 a.m. We have morning class, early morning class at 1:30 a.m. Then we have a night class at 9 p.m. Okay? So you, whenever that time reaches, you can just go in our Game Changers group and ask, hey, is there any class right now? Send me the link. Then they give it to you. I really have no question, but that's welcome, my brother Ronald. You're welcome. I didn't get very well how you got the 40, which you divided by 50 margin calls. The 40 is the percentage of the drop. Irina, I was saying that when you are designing your strategy, you must think about the future. That what if the market drops? And I said, make sure your strategy covers at least 40%. Because these days, haven't you seen people who are in 40? Let me show you something. I have a coin which is in negative 50%. Let me show you. It is here. Are you seeing? I have a coin, Acro. Acro is in negative 50, negative 55%. Have you seen that? So that's why I say when you are designing your settings, they must cover at least 40%, at least. So that 40 is the drop. Irina, you got the point. The 40 is the drop. You can even design for 50%. You can even design for 70%, but at least 40. 40, 50, 60, and above, whatever you want, according to the coin. When you are trading so volatile coins like WorldCoin, Acro, what, you can even put 70. Now, the 50... Okay. So, thank you so much, Irina. You're very welcome. I think I've explained it very well. Anyone with a question, we are remaining with just 1 minute and we close our training today. You can just type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. And then we close. Friends, when you understand the topic of margin call, you are going to enjoy the business. Many margin calls is the best. Okay? Entering a trade and you put $1,000 and someone enters a trade with the only 20 with the many margin calls is the better. trades best, more than you who enters all your money in a trade. When you set your call drop from 5 to 50, if they sold, do I have to set them again, or the robot repeatedly sell and buys? You set your call drop from 5 to 50 if they sold. Now, if your coin is in one shot, if it sells it off, the whole coin, it has been buying margin calls, then it sells them off up to the first buying amount, then the coin will stop because it has sold. The deal is done, unless it is in cycle. When it is in cycle, it will do it repeatedly. Even if the coin pumps so high and it sells it completely, then it will buy again the first buying amount because it is in cycle, and then come down and buy margin calls, then sells, then come down, then sells, then come down, then sells. Those coins, leader Emirati gave us a list of those coins. You can give cycle. I think I stared that message. Let me look for it here. This is the message. Emirati gave it. Recommendations for volatile coins with Emirati. He gave us Ant, Cover, COS, Gala, Acro, MDX, YFI, Sun, BNB, Neo, Alpine, all that list. With those coins, you can even have them in cycle. You get the point. But make sure you have good capital. Cycle see abantu balina sente ntono banangi. When you have little capital, ebya cycle bitu mubitibwa. Forget cycle. Be with one shot. Now, what if 100, should I divide by 2? Why divide that little money? $100, my brother, you are still trading one coin. By the way, for me, my strategy, the way I design strategies, if someone is below 1 million shillings, if someone is below $300, they should trade one coin. Not even thinking about any other coin. When you are below $300, one coin. Oh, you guys, look here. Even someone with $1,000, they trade one coin. How about $100? Why do you divide that money into different capital? Unless you are saying dividing money into margin calls. Of course, yes. $100, give it 10 margin calls. And each margin call, the robot is buying with $10. You get the point? Okay, I think questions are done. Friends, let me go for prayers. Today is a Friday. I'm a Muslim. Thank you so much for attending. Have a great day. See you at the top. Go on our YouTube channel. It's called Royal Q Game Changers, Royal Q Robot Game Changers. Go there, watch these videos which you have missed, and keep learning. Also, there is another very good YouTube channel. It's called Crypto Ambassadors, Eagles Team International. Also, there are very good trainings there. Go and watch them. Be knowledgeable. Don't accept to be in this business and you are ignorant about the business. Have a great day. See you at the top. See you at the top. Thank you so much for attending, friends. Grant, you're very welcome. You have learned something. I'm very happy for that. I also feel happy if people learn. I suffered so much in crypto without knowledge. So I don't want people to see them when they don't have knowledge in the business. When you don't have knowledge in this industry, you suffer a lot. You make a lot of mistakes, which would have been avoidable. Okay? Have a great time. See you at the top.